Have you ever stopped to wonder why being left out hurts so much? I mean, really hurts. It's a feeling we've all had, that sharp, specific pang you get when you see other people connecting without you, whether it's happening right in front of you or on a phone screen. Well, it turns out that pain, it's not just in your head. It is physically real, and science has a totally fascinating explanation for it. So let's dive into the deep science behind this universal human feeling.
I want you to just picture this scene for a second. You're scrolling through your phone, maybe it's late at night, and then bam, there they are, your friends. They're at a party you didn't know was happening, or at dinner, or maybe on a trip together. And in that one instant, as you're sitting there all alone, this very specific feeling just hits you right in the chest. It's way more than just FOMO or disappointment. It's this feeling of being invisible, and it immediately kicks off a spiral of questions, right? Why wasn't I invited? Did I do something wrong? Oh my God, do they not like me anymore?
You know, we tell ourselves to just get over it or stop being so sensitive. But what if that ache is your brain sending you a very real, very ancient warning signal? That's the huge question we're going to tackle here. We're going to get into the neuroscience behind this feeling and find out why, to your brain, social rejection can feel just as threatening as an actual physical injury. All right, so first up, let's explore why this ancient pain feels so intense and honestly so constant in our modern, super connected world. It's a feeling that has been weaponized in ways our ancestors could never have even imagined.
Okay, so here's the absolute key to understanding all of this. Our brains are hardwired for connection. I mean, think about it. For early humans living in these small tribes, being part of the group was literally everything. If you got kicked out, it wasn't just an emotional bummer, it was a death sentence. No protection, no food, no survival. Because of that, our brains evolved to treat social exclusion, what we can call social death, with the exact same life or death urgency as a physical threat.
And this is where it gets really tricky today. You know, a few generations ago, if your friends hung out without you, you probably would have never even known. But now, social media gives you a front row, high-definition seat to every single thing you weren't invited to. And this constant exposure, it creates this chronic state of social threat. Our brains get hyper-vigilant and we start seeing rejection everywhere. A text that takes too long to get a reply, a conversation that stops when we walk in, and this leads to this really painful cycle. We feel left out, so we pull back to protect ourselves, which only makes us feel more isolated, which of course leads to being excluded even more. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Why does a social snub cause a literal physical ache? This next part gets into the absolutely fascinating science of what is actually happening inside your brain when you feel rejected. So at the heart of all this is something called social pain theory. And listen, this isn't just a metaphor, it's a neurological reality. The theory is that to make sure we survived as a species, evolution literally hijacked the brain's physical pain system to alert us to social threats. I mean, just think about that. Your brain rings the same alarm bells for a broken friendship as it does for a broken leg. So, how do we know this for sure? Well, one of the most famous studies that proved this is known as the cyberball experiment. Researchers had people lie down in a brain scanner while they played what they thought was a simple virtual game of catch with two other avatars who they believed were controlled by real people. And it all started off just fine, you know, everyone tossing the ball around, but then the game changed. All of a sudden, the two other avatars started ignoring the participant, only throwing the ball to each other. Now, even though people knew it was just a silly computer game, they said they felt genuinely hurt and left out. And here's the mind-blowing part. Their brain scans showed a huge burst of activity in a region called the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, or DACC for short. This is the exact same part of the brain that lights up when you experience physical pain. Your brain isn't just saying, "Oh, you're sad." It's screaming, "Warning, system damage, detect." But it's not just about pain. Your brain also has this incredibly sensitive, built-in radar for exclusion. You can think of it as an ostracism detection system. It's run by your amygdala, the brain's little threat detector. And when it picks up on even the smallest hint of rejection, like a weird look or a subtle change in someone's voice, it triggers a full-blown fight-or-flight response. Your body gets flooded with the stress hormone cortisol, your heart starts racing, and that's where you get that awful, sinking, pit-in-your-stomach feeling. And get this, there's a whole other chemical layer to this too. When you have a positive social connection, your brain actually releases its own natural painkillers, chemicals that are super similar to opioids. Being with people you trust literally soothes you on a chemical level.
So on the flip side, when you're isolated or you're excluded, those feel-good chemical levels plummet. And this state of withdrawal makes you more sensitive not just to emotional pain, but to physical pain too. It's why loneliness can make everything from a simple headache to a chronic illness hurt just that much more. Okay, so we've got the deep science down, but let's bring it back to the real world. How do all these complex brain things play out in those small, everyday moments that sting so much? Let's walk through a few common scenarios. All right, picture this one. You're out with a group and two people start cracking up over some inside joke. They share that knowing look, they laugh for what feels like forever, and you're just sitting there. You're trying to hold a smile, but you feel completely on the outside. You're physically there, but psychologically, you have just been completely left out. So what is going on in your brain right then? Well, that feeling of being left out of the loop instantly fires up your DAC, that's the social pain center. But it also does something else. It kicks your brain into high alert social monitoring mode. Your mind immediately starts scanning for clues, interpreting this one tiny moment as a signal that your bond with the group is weaker than theirs. And that creates this sudden, sharp anxiety about your status, your place in the tribe. Here's a modern classic. You post something in the group chat, a question, a funny meme, whatever. You see that dreaded read by everyone notification, and then nothing. Just silence. Crickets. Then, hours later, someone else says something totally unrelated and the chat just blows up, completely ignoring what you sent. This is what you could call digital ostracism, and it's uniquely painful because it's so ambiguous. See, in person we have cues we can read. Online there's just a void. And your ostracism detection system, that sensitive little radar in your brain, it doesn't know what to do with that silence. So it defaults to the worst case scenario. You are being intentionally ignored. And this creates this powerful anxiety-inducing loop as you check your phone again and again, just replaying what you did wrong. Okay, what about the workplace? You notice there's a specific group of colleagues and they always go out for lunch together. They don't ever say, hey, you can't come, but the invitation is just never there. And so you end up eating alone at your desk, feeling totally invisible and wondering what they're all talking about. Now, the reason this one hits so close to home is because it taps right into our survival instincts. This scenario triggers what psychologists call social comparison theory. Your brain immediately starts sizing up your social standing and concludes you're not part of the in-group. And in a work setting, that feels threatening. It signals to your ancient brain that your access to resources, to important information, maybe even your job security is at risk. Okay, so we've established that the pain is real, and it's deeply rooted in our biology. The big question is, what can we actually do about it, right? We can't force people to include us, but we can change how our brain processes these signals. So let's move on to an actionable scientific toolkit for building resilience against that sting of exclusion. Here are 5 steps, all grounded in psychology, that can help you manage that sting of being left out. Let's walk through them. First, we'll learn to check the facts, basically becoming a detective for our own dramatic thoughts. Second is self-soothe the pain, and this one uses a fascinating physical trick to calm your brain's response. Third, we'll focus on quality, shifting our energy from the crowd to our core connections. Fourth, we're going to practice JMO, that's the joy of missing out, and reframe being alone as a powerful choice. And finally, number 5 is initiate, which is all about taking back control. So let's dig into that first step, because it's crucial. Your brain is, well, it's kind of a drama queen. Its first assumption is almost always that there was some malicious intent. It's a survival thing. But we have to remember something called the spotlight effect, this psychological tendency we have to think people are noticing us way more than they actually are. The truth? People are usually just wrapped up in their own stuff. What feels like a deliberate personal snub to you was very likely just thoughtlessness, or busyness, or a simple oversight. So before you believe your brain's first dramatic story, consciously ask yourself, what are 3 other, more neutral explanations for what just happened? And this really highlights the power of step 5, initiate. See, when we feel left out, it is so easy to become passive, to just wait for an invitation that might not ever come. And that just reinforces our own sense of helplessness. But when you take initiative by hosting a coffee date, or inviting just one person to lunch, or starting a new group chat about something you're into, it flips the script entirely. You move from that powerless victim position of, why didn't they choose me, to the powerful, active position of, I am choosing to create my own connections. It totally restores your sense of agency and reminds your brain that you're in the driver's seat.
Okay, as we start to wrap up here, I want to offer one last way to reframe this entire experience. The pain of feeling left out, it doesn't have to be something that makes you feel smaller. It can actually be a powerful signal, a guide. So here's the final takeaway. Don't let the pain of exclusion make you bitter or cause you to shut down. Instead, try to see it as a compass. That feeling is your brain telling you that you have a deep, beautiful, and fundamentally human need for connection, and that you value belonging. So let that compass point you away from situations and people that consistently make you feel small, and let it guide you towards the ones who see you, who value you, and who welcome you with open arms. At the end of the day, you don't need to be in every group chat or at every single party to be worthy of love and belonging. You are enough exactly as you are. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time that pang of rejection hits, what's one step you can take to make sure the most important person in your life, which is you, never feels left out?